Good afternoon. It's the Saints man, small van driver on the CX, and it's Friday the 5th of May. I'm getting this done early this week, which I'm sure you'll appreciate. Listen to me waffle and piffle even earlier than what you normally do. Uh, it's a 3-day week for me this week. I didn't work today. I've had eye surgery. I've had laser surgery done this morning on this eye, which is my good eye. This one's knackered. Yeah, I've had laser surgery done just to make sure that it doesn't go like this one, which has got no vision at all. Well, 1%. So, yeah, it went okay. It went fine. Consultant was really happy what he's done and still take the steroid drops for the next 3 months. And he wants to check it then whether I need to do the steroid drops. If not, it's all going to be okay. So, can still drive, even though you can drive up to a 3.5 ton van, and I'll get a 3-year license. So it's all good. But yeah, we had a bank holiday on last Monday, and we've got another bank holiday next Monday. So it's short weeks, which is not good when you work for yourself. It's great having the time off, don't get me wrong, but it's not good for earnings. But I've had a real good week, the 3 days I worked, 3 long days, and it sort of worked out okay in the end. I'll start with the fuel prices. This week's fuel prices for me, my cheapest was 111.33. That was with UK Fast Fuel with Texaco card, and that comes out at 133.59. So it's still a big saving. And I filled up at services on the motorway this week where it was still 180. I was saving nearly 50p a litre. So that's what that was. Obviously, I didn't work Monday, bank holiday Monday, although there was a job on there and I didn't get it. It was going to Edinburgh. I didn't get it because the company that did it took it off because they did it themselves because they got a backload, which is fair enough. So it wasn't the price, it was just the availability. I did a job on Tuesday actually for the same company, and it was from Milton Keynes to Coleshill, and it was one pallet, and I got that booked in, and it was a 7:30 pickup, and that went swimmingly, absolutely swimmingly. Got to Coleshill, and I've been to the place before, big distribution centre, and if you've got a small van, you go straight in, you queue up, and I unloaded it myself because they hadn't got a forklift where it was, but I just put the boxes on another pallet and they took the pallet. So good. And got good money for that, including the mileage going to Milton Keynes, still good money. And I picked a job up from Solihull, not too far away, to Oxford. Just one box, and picked that up quite quickly, really, within about 20 minutes, half an hour. Uh, that was pretty good money as well, down to Oxford. And Oxford, sometimes for me, it's a bit of an iffy area, and there weren't nothing out of Oxford. And I thought, well, I ain't got too far to travel home if that's it for the day, but it's not brilliant money. And then a job was there from Newbury, and it was going to two hospitals, one in Slough and one in Stoke Mandeville, which I've done work for this company quite a lot. It's really nice, Neil, and it was two hospital deliveries, and it was worth doing, although I had to travel from Oxford to Newbury to do it. Still fine. Stoke Mandeville, I ended up there, and that is how far? It's about 45 mile from my house, maybe 50 mile. So that was my day. I went over target just. I had quite a lot of dead miles, so it didn't work out that competitive mile pence per mile, but the price of fuel's lower now, so it was okay. And I'd also got a job booked in on Wednesday, so that was 9 o'clock start. It was, well, picking up between 8:45 onwards, between 9:45 10. And I got there at 9:45. That was from Northampton to Cranley. Now, Cranley is south of Guildford. It's about 8-9 miles south of Guildford, but it was going to Dunsford Park, which is an airstrip, which I found out. I knew it rang a bell. It's where the Top Gear test track is, where they do all the laps or whatever it is, where the big aeroplane is. And there's a lot of units on there, and I delivered to a unit, and that went fine, no problem. Very small box, got really good money for that going down. But you're in an area that it's in the middle of nowhere, really. You've got to get back to Guildford. But I moved a couple of miles back because I couldn't send the POD because there was very little internet until I could get good reception, which I did just 2 miles back towards Guildford, and I got a good reception. And a job was on there, believe it or not, from Cranley. I was staggered because it's nothing there. And believe it or not, it was the same shipper I'd gone down with who put the job on, and it was from the same place. So I phoned, and bless her, she was going to phone me anyway. And it was going to Honiton, which is on its way to Exeter across the A303. Yep, down the M3 and along there. And she says, "Would you like to do it? It's one door. It's going to a small unit in there." And I said, "Yeah, I would like to do it." I meant I wouldn't get home because Honiton is sort of Devon, and it was going to get there 2 o'clock in the afternoon, between 2 and 2:30. Very little chance of getting out. But I thought, you know what? It gets me over target for the day. And if that's it, that's it. I'll stay out. I'll tramp. So on the way to Honiton, picked it up, went back. So it was only 2 miles dead, and that was my own moving. And yeah, we took that to Honiton. Uh, on the way to Honiton, I'd set the forward journey for Honiton. Nothing. Absolutely dead as an order. I had to stop for fuel and put fuel in, and I put my laptop on quickly, and I set my radius from Honiton at 50 miles, and there was a job on there. I was about 10 miles short of delivering when I got fuel. And there was a job on there, and it was from Oakhampton to Slough, picking up at 3:30. And I was dropping at 2:30, and it was 42 miles further away. So I put a quote in. I thought if I get that one at 2:30, I knew it was going to be a quick drop. The 42 miles was only 45 minutes because it's all dual carriageway to Oakhampton. I phoned up. I put a bid in and explained how far away I was. That it would be 3:30. I'll pick up, and I put a quote in, and I got the job. They phoned. I perhaps could have got a bit more, but I still went in on a good rate. It was sort of 85p, 90, nearly 90p a rate. Uh, it was almost 90p a mile. And I got it. And I've been to the place in Oakhampton, and a lot of couriers will probably know it. You pick up, it's for aeroplane spares, and I dropped in, and yeah, I dropped the one off at Honiton, straight to Oakhampton, and I got there at 3:25. So within the time, and it was two small boxes going to Slough. By then, I decided when I was going to get home because Slough to my house is about an hour and 15, hour 20, something like that. And I thought, well, I'll drive the hour and 20. I'll suck that up, the 60 miles. So Wednesday was a real long ass day. I went to go to Slough, and it was altered. The actual delivery point was altered on the way to Twickenham, TW two. It was a residential address, and it was the courier who worked for the company I was working for. I was taking it to his house, and he was taking it to the airport. The two boxes, and he was going to put it through customs and all that because it was goods. So it changed. It didn't make a lot of difference. It was 3 more miles. But it did change. So I didn't ask for any extra money. I thought, no, it's fine. It could have asked for 10, I suppose, but I'd got what I wanted. So that's it. I took it to TW2 and dropped it at his house. He was waiting for it. All good. It was a quick in, out, done. Set the route for home, and I got home at 9:15 at night, and I started in the morning at 8:15. So it was a 13-hour day, and it was nearly all driving. I had two breaks, maybe three small breaks, but that's all I had. It was drive, drop, drive, drop. There was no hanging around, no nothing. From the moment I left the house, it was a full-on day. Did 550 miles that day in 13 hours. So you can imagine. But all good. Really good money that day. Pence per mile, not too bad. I had a dead mileage between jobs, and dead mileage from Twickenham home, which was 75 because I went through London. I went up Hanger Lane. I went up, up Hanger Lane and picked up the North Circular past Wembley, and it cut off 15 miles. And at that time of night, easy. So coming to Thursday, I got a job booked in as well. That was another reason. Once I knew I was going to Slough, when I stopped, had a quick coffee, I looked at the feed for Northampton for Thursday, and there was a job on there that I've done regular, which is down to Chelmsford and Bluewater for the next day. I quoted on it and got it. for Thursday, which was a 7 o'clock pickup in the morning. So I got home, 9:15, quick turnaround. And I was Thursday, yesterday, I was picking up at 10 to 7. I got there and picked up in Northampton, near me. And off we went, Chelmsford and on to Bluewater. And this was yesterday, Thursday, and I did that job, and the feed was really lively. But I was looking for a job sort of homish. I got to come home because I've obviously had the surgery this morning, so I've got to be at home Thursday night, ready to go in to have this laser surgery done this morning at 9. So there was no way of staying out. And there was a job on there from Tilbury to Fleet, which just the other side of the bridge. I'd gone to Blue Water. I just grabbed a coffee at McDonald's. Blue Waters, I love Blue Water, the food mall. There is so many different outlets. You can't fail to get decent food. You may pay for it, but hey, I ended up having porridge from McDonald's and a cup of coffee because that's all I fancied. And as I was doing it, the feed was pinging, but it was mostly into London or mostly going south coast or into Kent. But there was a job to Fleet from Tilbury, which I thought I wouldn't get because I quoted it at £1 a mile, and I did get it. The only thing is, I had to hop back over under the tunnel, Dartford Tunnel. It's £2.60 for me because I've got a Dart account. So I've been over the bridge to get to Blue Water, back through the tunnel, picked up, and it was a fitting. It was going to a sewerage works. Fitting was like that. It was heavy, but it was a fitting for a pipe, and it was going to a sewage works in Fleet on a farm. So picked that up back over the bridge. So another £2.60. So I've done £7.80 on the bridge on the tolls, which you put in your price. And that took me down to Fleet. And I was in Fleet quite early. I think I was in Fleet by about 1 o'clock. So I thought I must get something back or something to get me near home. And I only want 30 quid and I've hit target. So I only want a small job, but nothing. I sat in Morrison's car park right near where I delivered. It was about a mile away. And I sat there for nearly 2 hours was the limit. And I sat there for 1 hour 50. And I think I quoted on one job. I was 30 miles away and it was taking me to Stevenage. And I quoted on it quite low. No, never going to get it. And I actually thought, well, I'm going to drive home here with nothing. And it was a long way to drive home. It was a fair distance. So I was a little bit. But I thought, well, that's what's going to happen. Oh, excuse me. That's what's going to happen. So I set the sat nav for home, and it took me back up the A3 past Guildford onto the M25, which was very slow. I'd got my feed on, a couple of jobs into London, quoted on one, didn't get it, never going to get it. Blokes in London, they'll do it for 20 quid, 25 quid, I know they do. And there's no way I am quoting on a job doing 15 miles going into London or somewhere, suburbs of London, for less than 30 quid or 35 quid. So I'd rather just drive home. But I didn't because a job popped up as I was going up the M25. A job popped up High Wycombe to Northampton, and it was 65-mile loaded. And I thought I really want this job, so I went in low. I went in at 40. I'm going to tell you what I went in. I went at 40 quid, which is 65 miles times 6. It's about 65 pence. But I was going home anyway, so it was just my petrol home, and I got it. I phoned up, and I got it, and I worked for this company a few times. And it's always hospital to a labs in Northampton on Brackmills, and it's water samples, or it used to be COVID, but it's water samples or blood samples, whatever it is. And yeah, phoned up and got it. And it's they're going to be there till 4, and if you're there after 4 picking it up, they'll leave it outside the stores in the hospital. And I'd said to the shipper, I may struggle to get there because of traffic, but I'm looking at 4 to 4:05. They said, that's fine, we'll phone them up. So, the shipper, first of all, said the job weren't going, or it was something wrong with the job, it was going to be cancelled. And then I said, well, there's a cancellation fee. Then she phoned back and said, it's going ahead. I got there 4 minutes past 4, and I found the store straight away. This is a tip for all you couriers. As soon as you get on site, push your on site. once you're on site, you're actually on the hospital, the drive-through. You're on site, and I was at 4 minutes past 4. So I parked by the stores, and the stores was locked, and it said they went home at 3:30. And the shipper told me they would leave the boxes outside the stores. There was no boxes, and I know what the boxes look like. Nothing, not a box. So I phoned the shipper up to say that I'm here, that there's nothing, any chance. But there was a number on the door, on the store's door, out of hours. Phone this number. So I said, I will phone this number and I'll see. And it was security. And a lovely gentleman come down and security bloke, and I said, showed him my thing, my phone, my app. I'm come to pick these up. They're water samples, and I can't really go without them because they get tested overnight at the labs, so they need to be sent, need to be delivered. So he said, I'll go and see if we can get a key. Follow me. And we went to the main office. Then he managed to get a key to the stores. We went in the stores, nothing. No boxes anywhere. So we've got a bit of a problem. Where are these boxes? So I was determined to find them. One thing I do, I hate doing is not doing a job. Although it's not my fault they're not there, but I still want to take these samples because all these people come into the hospital to give samples. If these don't go and get tested, then they're no good. So they have to phone them all up and tell them, oh, they're not been tested. They're too late. So anyway, we managed to get through to a manager, and the security man took me to the manager. A manager said, and I'd already had a phone call conversation with the shipper who said they're in the office in the stores. So I conveyed this to the manager on site, and he said the manager who's got the keys to the office has gone home, but I'll phone him. Uh, and he said, first of all, let's go to the path labs. I said, yeah, because they could be there. So he sent me to the path labs with one of his guys. No, they're not there. But he phoned the manager. He said, no, they're in my office. He said, no one's told me to leave them outside. They stayed in the office. And he said, I'll come back. Which he did. He agreed to come back. He lived in High Wycombe. He was 20 minutes away, he said. So I waited. I phoned the shipper. She was fine. She says, okay. I said, well, she said, do you charge waiting? I said, yeah, because I've been here 3 minutes past 4. I said, it's £5 every quarter of an hour after half an hour for me. So she said, that's okay. We'll work it out. I said, fair enough. And he come in. It was 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I sat there, did nothing on my phone. And yeah, he turned up. He said, really sorry, but no one had told me this. But we go at 3:30. He said, can you speak with your office and say, can you get a delivery? Because it happens every day virtually. Can they get it before 3:30? And I said, yeah, I can chat with mine. And he was going to chat with his guy, his end, who orders couriers. So hopefully in future it'll be picked up before they go home. They've got the boxes. That's the main thing. Got the boxes. And I left there, and I was an hour and a quarter total. Well, hour and 20 minutes. So it was going to be 45 minutes, which is 15 quid. Which I phoned up and said, look, it's 15 quid extra. I've been 3/4 an hour, just over. And she agreed it. So it's 55 quid. And it got me home a lot later than I wished to be home. I got home eventually at 7:15, so another long ass day. It's my favourite saying at the moment. Bloody long ass day. Another long ass day I've done. But it's all money. And when you got Friday, when I weren't working Friday, Monday, 3-day week, I was trying to maximise my earnings. So that was my week. I obviously didn't work today. I'm not working Tuesday, so I can't pick up anything Tuesday morning because my van's been serviced first thing Tuesday. Darren says he's going to take him about 2 to 3 hours. So I'm hoping to be on the road at 11:30, something like that. So that's Tuesday. So total this week, I did in 3 days. I did 1,280 miles, which is a lot. 427 miles a day average. But one day I did 558. The other two I did 384 and 339. But yeah, it was a busy day on the Wednesday. And I did 36 hours in 3 days. So I averaged 12-hour days. So there was 3 long-ass days. And there was 26 hours driving. My takings was £780. With that makes it £934.80. Take off my 10% for my HMR, my friends at HMRC who like to take a bit of money off me. That's 93.48. So my final earnings gross was 841.32, which works out quite nicely. It works out at 280 a day average, which is really good. But as the title of the vlog is, 3 long-ass days. But it's earned some money. My pence per mile averaged at 65 because I had dead mileage. I had dead mileage every day, at least 50 miles, one day 80 miles. So that's your dead mileage. But with diesel being quite low, even if you do 60 miles, that's a gallon to me. Gallon's under £7. Yes, you've got your time it takes you and the depreciation of the van and the wear and tear on a van, but it's still not amazing. It's not massive. So for a small van, that's okay. If it's a long wheelbase van, you're looking at 2 gallons of fuel probably, which is, it is substantially more losses. So it's a good week. Say 3-day week. Obviously today the work was pinging around Northampton. See, I don't know what happens in Northampton because I normally leave Northampton in the morning and come back at night. But at lunchtime today, the feed was pinging in Northampton. At one stage, there was about 17 jobs around the area. And some were long distance, some were short. I think it'd have been a good day today. But hey, we're doing some paperwork. We caught up on invoices. I've had 3 late payers from April, which is very unusual, but I've been in contact with all of them, and they all seem to be sorting it out. So that's good. Again, next week, it's going to be a 3.5 day week because Monday's this coronation. The van's in for service Tuesday morning, so I'm going to work Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's what it'll be, another 3.5 day week. So, yeah, it's going to be a long week. But I hope you're all doing well. Have a great bank holiday. If you're celebrating King Charles putting another hat on, putting his crown on, fair play to you. We're doing a bit of a barbecue Sunday, and we're painting our decking. My wife started painting the decking, so I'll be joining in tomorrow. I've been told not to because I've had the laser today, just to take it easy. Everything's fine. Vision's okay. So we're all good. Anyway, any questions, comments, please ask. I will try and answer them as best I can. If you like the videos, if you want to push the like button, great. If you want to subscribe, as others YouTubers say, it costs you nothing. It ain't going to hurt you. You're just going to hear me ramble and you'll get notifications of hearing me ramble. So, put the subscription down. I'm getting up. Apparently about 830 odd. I'm getting close. I'm getting up towards 1,000. Just need that little extra push to get me up there, which should be great. So, speak soon.